Hello, world. It is Thursday, August 6th, and another gorgeous morning here in Defiance. Cool again, beautiful sleeping weather. I love it when it's like this for sleeping. So, um, hope you can get out today and enjoy a little weather. Being outside is probably one of the safest things you can do and the best things for you, both body, mind, and spirit. Today's devotional is entitled Going Places, written by Mary Ludy. And Mary bases her devotion on the Gospel of Luke, chapter 24, verses 13 through 15, and she read from the New Revised Standard Version. Two of them were going to a village called Emmaus and talking with each other about all that had happened. While they were talking, Jesus himself came near and went with them. Mary wrote, "After graduation, many of my high school classmates settled down in our hometown and stayed there. They rarely ventured out, not even to Boston, only 70 miles away, yet distant and daunting as the Andes. They bought burial plots in town, too, and planned to use them. Staying put like that used to be the norm. In times past, most people died in the houses they were born in, married someone from the block, and attended the same church from baptism to burial, accomplishing the purpose of their existence in a few square miles. I used to think that such circumscribed lives were lesser lives, never going anywhere, a deprivation. But going places doesn't necessarily make a life richer, especially if you never really understand where you're headed and what it means to be going there. Not if all you ever do is take the well-worn route up to the ladder of success or down the road of self-preoccupation. These days, many of us are still living with virus-related restrictions. We're weary, chafing to abandon our own four walls to range freely and far. We can't, not yet. But we can go someplace special all the same. We can still take the road. We can journey with Jesus, who spent 33 years in a place the size of New Jersey. It's a different kind of journey, a progress from false selves to real ones, from estrangement to solidarity, from self-concern to self-gift, from fear to an open heart. Even in confinement, it's the trip of a lifetime. It bursts all bonds, and you can take it without leaving home." And Mary's prayer, "O Jesus, let me go with thee." Amen. A couple things I thought of when I was reading this devotional is one is what had been kind of a tendency in Germany in that people not only were born and got married in one town, and stayed there all their lives, but actually generations often did. And at one point in the past, it wasn't unusual for families to have a plot of land, and they would build a house, and then when their kids got married, they would build houses on that plot of land in the same town. And so there's a lot of pride of place, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at all. But as everywhere, times were changing and people were becoming more mobile, even in Germany. Even myself, most of my family born and raised in the Detroit area, although my mom was from the Upper Peninsula in Michigan and relocated to Detroit. But most of them pretty much stayed in and around the Detroit area, or at least stayed within Michigan. I'm the first of my family's generation to move to a different state and live out in a different state. My nieces and nephews may be a slightly different story. I have some that are scattered all over the world. And there's something to be said about experiencing other places and expanding your view. But there's also something to be said about having a place that you can call home too. The other thing that struck me is when she talks about the pandemic and how we're stuck at home more than we have been in the past. And I think it's a call to maybe explore our faith, explore our life, think about what's really important. Now that we can't do a lot of the things we used to do, maybe it's time to rethink everything that we've always done. And maybe spend some time reading the Bible or reading books about faith and trying to explore where are we really and where are we going and what is our life really for. Just an opportunity, I think, that may not have come along if it weren't for the pandemic. So anyway, I hope that gave you some food for thought today, gave you some things to think about and ponder over and pray over, and maybe some new ideas as to how to spend your time in a pandemic. Take care, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.